Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today, we're talking about how warm it is in your workplace. Are you ready? Let's get started. Well, if you've watched episodes of this of Remarkable TV before, you know that this is not what I would normally wear. In fact, almost always I have on a blue shirt. You might be wondering why. The biggest reason isn't because I only own blue shirts, but rather we found that it works the best for this video. But today I'm wearing a sweater. Why? Well, because on the day that I'm recording this, when I got up this morning, it was 0. Really cold outside. You may be saying, why do you want to live in Indianapolis if it's going to be 0? Well, I would say, well, it only gets there, some winters doesn't even get there at all. But it was cold this morning, so I put on a sweater when I came to the office. Now, once I got to the office, the temperature here was pretty comfortable. It's not really a problem. But, you know, I got to thinking about the cold, and so I wore the sweater. But once I got here and I was looking in the mirror and seeing the sweater, and I got to thinking about the temperature that we have in our workplaces. And I'm not talking about what the thermostat can regulate. I'm talking about the work environment. So how warm is it where you are? How comfortable is it for people to come into your workplace? Do customers and employees want to linger and be there? See, these are the kinds of environmental temperatures that I think we as leaders must be thinking about. Because if it's too cold, like I grew up on a farm, and if it's too cold to work, we don't want to do work. We're not very productive. Same thing in our workplace. If it's environmentally a little cold, if it's just not quite the way we would want it in terms of the relationships, then we're not going to be very productive. We're not going to get as much work done as successfully. Alternately, if it's too hot out in the world, we don't want to work, we're lethargic, and we just soon do anything but work. And if it's too hot with our relationships in our workplace, we may spend too much time working on non-work things. We may spend too much time on the personal stuff, and that's not quite what we want either. You see, as a leader, we must be thinking about that environmental temperature, and I'm not talking about the thermostat. We have to recognize that if it's not the environment that we want, that's not going to be the most productive and conducive for us to get our work accomplished, then we need to be the one to adjust that thermostat. We can do it in two basic ways. We can do it through our example. Are we creating the kind of environment with us that we want to be seen by others? Now, if we're in a workplace that includes customers coming in, this has a huge and direct and immediate impact on our business results. But even if you're in a back office environment, you're in a factory environment, you're in any other place, all of these same things matter. What example are you setting for your team? It has a huge impact on how people will respond. And also it relates to your expectations. If people say, well, I'm doing my job, I'm doing the technical parts of my job, and I'm doing my job, but when you hear them say that, there's a but in your head, which is, hey, I need you to act differently around your coworkers, I need you to create a more conducive environment, you have to recognize that that's part of the job too. See, the environment that we set has an impact on retention, it has an impact on productivity, it has an impact on long-term business success, and that environment is set by us. Let's leave this with today's tweet. The leader sets the thermostat for the warmth and comfort of the working environment. This is just one of the hundreds of things that leaders need to be thinking about. What's going on in my workplace? What's going on amongst my team members? How warm is it where we are? It's one of the many things we've got to be thinking about. It's one of the kinds of things that we talk about in the Remarkable Leadership Workshop. This is a workshop that I created and that I lead, and I would love to have you join me with a cohort of folks just like you who want to become more effective leaders, to lead more effectively their teams and get the results that their teams, their organizations, and their customers desire. I'd love to have you join us. It's a practical, engaging, fun, and exceptionally useful learning experience where you'll get the chance to get your questions answered, and you'll learn a whole lot more than you ever thought to ask. You can learn all you want about this workshop by clicking on the link below, and when you do that, you're one step closer to joining us for the next workshop. So do it, all right? Hey, and before you go, if you've got questions about this or things that you want to say, or you just like my sweater, or hey, if there's anything other things you'd like us to talk about in future episodes, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. We're watching, we're paying attention, and if you do, you'll likely see it on a future episode of Remarkable TV.